Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, we're going to tell you all about the Backstage reaction as Paul Wight swaps WWE for AEW.
Adam Cole turns on Roderick Strong on last night's NXT.
And 2 new matches for AEW Revolution were confirmed on last night's Dynamite.
I'm Adam Wilborn.
And I'm Andy Murray.
And this is the news.
All right, let's kick things off with some more commentary on Paul Bloody Wight, the Big Show. Moving from WWE to AEW, what the hell is going on in the professional wrestling in the year of our Lord 2021? It's weird, isn't it? Really strange, but also maybe kind of cool. Let's see how this whole thing pans out. Anyway, we got a new report here from Fightful Select talking about the Backstage reaction to all of this in AEW and WWE, but of course WWE is more interesting because it's there that he's left. So, some stuff here. The Fightful Select report says that several WWE talents had no idea that Big Show was on his way out of the company. It seems very much like this caught them off guard. Minimal goodbyes were exchanged between Big Show, Paul, whatever we're calling him now, and members of the roster. WWE officials, however, a number of them would have been clued into this because Paul Wight's contract with the company expired shortly after his appearance at Raw Legends Night in January, where he was not too happy about how everything went with him just kind of getting bullied by Randy Orton on screen. It was a weird time for the Big Show, not a particularly enjoyable one for his character. It's worth noting as well that Wight's profile was moved to the alumni section of WWE.com as late as the 19th of February. That's only a week or so ago. So relatively recent developments here. But one source within WWE claimed that they had an inclination that Wight was on the verge of a major career move because, well, his contract expired, he sold his home, and there was the cancellation of the Big Show, the Netflix thing, which was co-produced by WWE Studios. So, bit of surprise in WWE, bit of what the hell is going on, which is exactly what my reaction was when I saw this story last night. However, we've got the AEW reaction as well, courtesy of the Fightful Select report. They were just as surprised as their WWE cohorts, it seems, as several did not know that the big man was coming in at all. You never know when the big man is coming in. And those that Fightful spoke to are said to be pretty excited about the opportunity to work with and learn from Paul Wight, who, it was announced, will debut on Dynamite next week. He's debuting next week. Last night we got the news of this debut and that Tony Schiavone will be his broadcast colleague on AEW Dark. I have forgotten the name.
What is the Evolution? Name? No.
Elevation.
Right? Elevation.
There we go. So that's the kind of 411 with the Backstage reaction to all of this. This was so weird because I tweeted this last night. I put my phone down for half an hour, just decompressing after a busy work day, just chilling, looking out the window, watching the world go by, relaxing, birds tweeting very relaxing. Pick my phone up. Paul Wight signs with AEW, and I was like, what the hell is this? Because he's one of those guys where he's been with WWE since, 1999? You just assume that when someone is with the company for that long and they still come in every now and then and do little bits and pieces like Big Show had, you assume they're going to be there their whole career. So the prospect of the former giant crossing over to AEW never crossed my mind at one point since AEW has existed. But I think it's a pretty interesting addition for sure. I mean, who knows how he'll fare as a commentator, but he's obviously got a wealth of experience. And look, the key thing with AEW and bringing in older names for me is that they're very, very respectful and they book them very effectively. Like Tully, Arn, Sting, who had an awesome angle last night. They've been used to benefit others rather than detract from others. So AEW has done a really good job with handling these older wrestlers. And we know Big Show's going to wrestle every now and then in AEW as well. So I'm pretty confident that they'll make the most of it. Like I say, it's strange. It's very strange, but I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. And, everything I've ever heard about Paul Wight behind the scenes suggests that he's just a really nice guy. Yeah. So good for him as well.
Yeah, exactly. A stunning revelation, like you say, last night. It was just all over Twitter yesterday. I think it's the right move, like you say. I think it's exciting to see what they do next. Obviously, having predominantly him on commentary on AEW Dark Elevation is a good thing. They've got so many big guys in that company who could learn from his vast knowledge and experience. Like you say, for all the mutants out there who are like, oh great, another old guy coming to
the mutants,
all elite wrestling or whatever. It's like, well, yeah, but Sting hasn't come in and beaten Kenny Omega in 2 minutes for the title, has he? They're trying to use him to help the younger talent, but people will say what they'll say, I suppose, won't they? Just very quickly, well, two things. Actually, I'm going to start with your thing, Andy. Tell everyone about your conspiracy theory about next week, because I think this could well be happening,
Yeah, so this isn't based on anything at all. It's just my gut feeling, right? So don't take this as anything other than me just spitballing. But Paul Wight's debuting on next week's episode of AEW Dynamite. Cody Rhodes is carrying an injury, although he says he'll be back for next week, and I do believe him. Shaq is on the show next week. Cody is supposed to be wrestling Shaq in a tag team match. Big Show is debuting. There is a sliver, the tiniest sliver of doubt over Cody's status. You put 2 and 2 together, and in this case, I've somehow gotten 9. Because what if Cody is maybe a little bit more hurt than he's letting on, and Shaq wrestles Big Show with Jade Cargill and Red Velvet in this tag match? It's just pure speculation on my behalf, but I don't know. It's sitting in the pit of my gut and I can't shake it off. So I'm just putting it out there for the world to digest. I'm sure someone else has said it already, but
it's definitely feasible. And with just very quickly before we move on, we've got a few other stories to deal with. The TV show, Dark Elevation, is going to be another YouTube series. This isn't the other TV show they were talking about, right?
That's right. Tony Khan clarified this yesterday. They are still working on a second show for TNT. This is very much sounds like a developmental program, and honestly, AEW Dark kind of needs that, because while AEW Dark is massive, it still isn't able to fit everyone in and give wins to people that they might want to, and maybe highlight some more independent people. So I think it makes sense, man. And remember, like we said yesterday, you don't have to consume all of this content. No. You can pick and choose. By all means, check AEW Dark Elevation out when it comes out, but don't ever feel the need like you have to overindulge on all this
exactly
stuff.
But literally, AEW learning from WhatCulture. We talked about how AEW Dark was too long on yesterday's news, and they've already fixed it, so you're welcome, guys. And that means there's still a chance, Andy Murray, of their other TV show linked to Dynamite being called AEW Fuse. I invented it. It's the greatest name for a TV show. You're welcome, AEW. Just give me 10% cut and you can have it. Right, let's move on and talk about NXT. Major developments on last night's show. We got the confirmation that in 2 weeks it is going to be Io Shirai versus Toni Storm for the NXT Women's Championship. But the big news off the end of last night's show is Adam Cole turning on another member of Undisputed Era. He supposedly came out at the end of last night's show to explain his actions towards Kyle O'Reilly. He did this sort of weird apology, and I thought, where on earth is this going? Roderick Strong came out to bollock him. Finn Balor came out to kick his head in. It all got a bit of a schmoz. In the end, they get rid of Finn Balor. Adam Cole's there, he's on his knees, he's begging to get forgiveness from Roderick Strong, who says, okay. And then obviously Adam Cole hoys him in the bollocks, says he's dead to him, and then super kicks his head off. He's very, very much of a bastard, isn't he, Andy?
Now, he's a right prick, that Adam Cole. You can't trust him. You cannot trust that man. This segment had Shawn Michaels' fingerprints all over it, with the kind of style of melodrama and the talking and the emotional voices and all the heavy stuff. It was, the next logical development, wasn't it, in the saga with Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era and everything that's been going on. I guess the next one is probably going to wherever Bobby Fish is holed up and beating up his injured body part with a bedpan or something. Poor Robert the Fish. But yeah, Adam Cole's gone full bastard. Kyle O'Reilly's on the shelf for 4 to 6 weeks. Yeah. Roderick Strong, might be on the shelf with a broken heart after this one. So lots going on in that main event scene at the moment. Very exciting to think what could possibly come next.
And a wild no DQ match last night between Santos Escobar and Karrion Kross. Enjoyed last night's NXT. But a bit all over the place.
Yeah, but sometimes all over the place is fun.
Again, Cameron Grimes, the best thing. I think he's going to feud with the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. So that's where we're going.
Why the hell not? Very quickly, our final story here. We've got 2 new matches announced for AEW Revolution. That's the pay-per-view next week. Of course, those 2 matches are they've given it a funny name, Casino Tag Team Royale. So the Casino Battle Royale, but tag teams for a shot at the tag team titles. 7 teams announced so far. They are Bear Country, Alex Reynolds and John Silver, Evil Uno, and Stu Grayson, Santana and Ortiz, The Butcher and the Blade, Private Party, Top Flight, and more TBD. We're also getting a tag match, Chuck Taylor, Orange Cassidy versus Miro and Kip Sabian. It's a development of the wedding storyline, of course. Challenge was made last night. Chuck Taylor delivered it via letter, and Miro ate it and spat it at Tony Schiavone. Weird stuff happened to put these matches together, but the Miro one obviously comes from the storyline. Tag team title battle royal thing will develop the number 1 contenders for whoever wins between the Young Bucks and MJF and Chris Jericho. Revolution is shaping up to be a pretty sweet card so far.
Finally, a pay-per-view match for Miro, and let's get on to our Twitter questions, because one of the questions is related to one of the matches you've just announced, Andy. At WhatCulture WWE, if you want to get in touch with us. Chris Hendry starts us off saying, do you think AEW are at risk of overplaying their hand using battle royal style matches to determine number 1 contenders in place of the rankings?
Yeah, I definitely think they could ease off on them a little bit. I think that when you have the ranking system, there should always be the fluidity for challengers to emerge and contenders to emerge through other means. And I think the odd battle royal here and there is an effective way of doing that, particularly if you have a team at the very top of the rankings who've kind of cleared the division out and need something fresh. But it does feel like we get an awful lot of them. There seems to be one on every pay-per-view pretty much, and a few others in between. Casino Battle Royales haven't always delivered. It feels like they haven't always, found the right balance between the structure of the match and creating drama and telling stories and everything and keeping it all together. So yeah, I definitely think there's a point to that. I do think that they would benefit from backing off on them just a little bit. But at the same time, this one should be fun. Some fresh faces in this one as well. Bear Country are just so much fun. I was going to say Bear Country are your favourites, aren't they? So I'm excited Bear Country
quickly
rivaling the Butcher and the Blade is my favourite tag team on the planet. Love the beef.
Tom Wells gives us our second question of the day. It says, when Rhea Ripley debuts on Raw, could you see her winning the title and joining the Hurt Business? They're on fire right now and they could hold all the gold on Raw.
I do like the idea of the Hurt Business recruiting someone from the women's division and adding another title. And I think, attitude-wise, Rhea Ripley's a really good fit, right? She's aggressive, she's assertive, she's confident, she's a badass. I think she'd fit in really, really well. The one kind of difference between, the rest of the Hurt Business, Shelton, Cedric, and MVP are tremendous pro wrestlers. Not MVP, Bobby Lashley. MVP's the mouthpiece. But none of those 3 are elite level talkers. I think it's quite fair to say they're quite good, but they're not MVP level. He's tremendous. Yeah. Rhea Ripley's a great promo. So she'd be really interesting as well, because if you don't want to have MVP cutting promos for the Hurt Business all the time, Rhea Ripley could maybe step in here and there. Yeah, I think this is a really cool idea. If the Hurt Business want to add a strong, assertive female presence, Rhea Ripley's a good shout.
Yeah, I do like it as an idea. I don't see it happening because they need to give her redemption against Charlotte Flair, who has to be the heel going into the WrestleMania match. But let's be honest, she'll probably be the baby face against a heel Asuka or something, whilst Rhea Ripley just sits on the sidelines because WWE don't know how to book sometimes. Right, final question today comes from Arash Zarabi. Apologies if I've butchered your name there. I'm not going to mess up his Twitter handle though. At Mr. Snuggle Monkey. What a name that is. Snatching that one up before anyone else can have it. It says, good morning. Which AEW wrestler do you think will get into the WWE Hall of Fame first? Taz, Big Show, or Chris Jericho? They all deserve it. Who do you think Vince will forgive first for leaving? Have a great day. You have a great day, Mr. Snuggle Monkey.
Snuggle Monkey. And none of them. Vince is really petty, and I don't think he'll be considering any of those free names soon. But to answer in good faith, Chris Jericho probably. Big Show had a prominent role at the top of the card for a long, long time, came in and out and everything, but Chris Jericho, I think, is on, a tier above that and accomplished a few more memorable feats in WWE, at least.
Yeah, I think you might be right there. They all deserve it, though, as you said, Mr. Snuggle Monkey, and they'll probably put X-Pac in a few more times. I love the fact that they've never put him on his own like he deserves, but they're like, oh, he's part of this faction and this faction. Give him his own bloody entry. But anyway, let's move on to today's and finally. And, well, everyone obviously talking about Paul Wight, the Big Show, coming to AEW. Particularly Trent, who tweeted the image of Paul Wight is All Elite, simply adding, gonna haze him. Good luck with that, Trent. Good luck, mate.
Don't think that'll go too well for you there, brother. But it might be funny to see it happen, I guess. He'd probably get put through a wall, the poor bugger. Jesus.
And a little competition for you in the comments section today. Let us know what Big Show's entrance is going to sound like in AEW. Because Andy and I were just talking about it, and the best we came up with was either, well, it's the Go Big Show, or, well, it's Paul. So let us know what other things it could be in the comment section, as well as discussing, easy for me to say, everything we have talked about in the comments. You can let us know your thoughts on Twitter as well, at WhatCulture WWE, where you can follow both of us. You can follow Andy Murray at
Andy H. Murray. The H today stands for happy birthday, Ric Flair. He's 72 years old today and he's still on TV indulging in relationships with women half his age. God bless Ric Flair. He's a gem.
Woo! I've been holding that in for a while. Yes. You're soon to be a father again. So good luck with that one, Rick. Happy birthday, Rick Legend. Follow me on Twitter at Adam Wilborn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE. And make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts with myself and the Dandy Boys sitting down to review the Wednesday Night War a little bit later on today. Right, my thanks to Andy Murray. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.
Woo.